Alright, another cheap knife review, because you can never have too many cheap knives, right? At least if they are halfway decent. So, is this decent? Well, let's take a look. It's made by MTech, a manufacturer which keeps pumping out plenty of cheap knives. Some of them are good, others not so much. Product code is MT-20-14GY. And yeah, that's actually pretty important to know, because otherwise you may have a hard time finding this, as MTech has a tendency to give their stuff very generic names. Like this here is a tactical defense neck knife, and if you search for that you will find plenty of them. So yeah, if you want to find it, type in MTech and the product code, then you may actually find it. It is a very cheap knife. It costs less than $10. In fact, I've seen it for as low as $5. And what can you expect for that price? Cheap steel, obviously. This is 440 stainless, so yeah, not really remarkable in any way. Not a great edge retention or anything, but well, for something between $5 and $10, you can't really complain that much. The handle is ABS, rubberized, which is very nice. Has this silly star here, which personally I don't like it, but hey, whatever. Personal taste. Also has these, what to call them, elongated gray buttons, I guess, which stick out, as you can see. And that's actually a good thing because, well, makes it grippier. Is grippy even a word? Well, I don't care. It is a word now. Overall, it is pretty grippy. With all the texturing going on and stuff sticking out, it provides very decent traction, plus it being rubberized, so yeah, this is very secure in the hand. Definitely not going to slip on that. And, well, if you wanted to, you could attach a lanyard, even though this hole is so small that you wouldn't be able to fit much through. And the thing is also so thin and flimsy that it would probably break off. But hey, in theory, you could. The handle's also nicely ergonomic. Widens towards the end, which is always good for keeping your hand on there. And yeah, there's a little bit of a swell here. It's this is actually good for choking up on it, so that you can rest your fingers on these nubs here, I guess. So that's nice. And you also have a guard, obviously, and that will definitely prevent your hand from slipping up onto the blade if you work with it or fight with it, because it is supposed to be a combat knife. Even says in the description, great for combat. Really? I don't know. Look at how small this thing is. Fits easily in my hand, and I have rather small hands. So in other words, range, not so much. This would have very, very short range. Come on. Nah, I don't think I'm gonna get this to work. Hopefully you can still see it, although blurry. It has this center ridge here, which actually strengthens the blade. It's kind of nice. So it would be pretty good for stabbing, but again, not really great reach. And I have no idea what these things are for, probably just decoration. Doesn't really make any sense as far as I can see. So yeah, let's take a look at the sheath here, which is obviously very important for a neck knife. If this thing doesn't keep it in securely, you don't want to carry it, basically. And it does. You can shake it like a moron. Doesn't really do anything, and yeah, it's pretty secure in there. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. You have these little nubs or nipples or whatever you want to call them in there, and they come to rest on this very, very smooth ridge. It's not very pronounced. In fact, I'm not quite sure how well this would hold up long term. I think that if you keep putting it in and drawing it again and again, it may actually cause some wear there. Wear there? Oh, doesn't that sound great? Wear bear. Whatever. And this may actually decrease the detention over time, but then you may modify this. If you cut this a little deeper, that would actually help. So yeah, this should hold up pretty well, and if it doesn't over time, you could modify it to improve that. It's snapping into place very nicely. So yeah, the sheath is definitely pretty good, nice and secure. This ball chain here, forget about it. I really hate those things. They are usually very flimsy. They rip off pretty quickly, so yeah, just discard the thing and attach something else. That would be my recommendation. Other than that, the sheath is nice and sturdy. Why do people keep doing that, by the way? This just knocking on there? I do that too. It's not like that demonstrates anything, right? It's not like you can tell by the sound how sturdy it is, or can you? Ah, whatever. I keep getting sidetracked. What about the sharpness? Fairly typically MTech crap level, I would say, because yeah, this is just regular ass paper, and as you can see, it tears it more than it cuts. So this is pretty bad actually. And yeah, I mean, look at this. I can't even show you how much the edge reflects and how jagged it looks. That is not good. Oh, come on, focus, focus, be nice, be nice. Well, I think you can see it. So the edge is not clean at all. They didn't do a great job at this on this whatsoever. So you should touch it up. So overall, what's up with this MTech neck knife, or neck dagger, I guess? Well, pretty good handling, cheap steel, obviously, very usable sheath. There, I do it again. Why do I keep tapping it? Whatever. And well, the design is not bad. I just don't really see it for self-defense use, other than as a backup for a backup or something. Carrying a knife for self-defense is not really the best idea anyway. There are better alternatives, non-lethal or less than lethal. But you could also use this as a tool, which is something that Cutlery Lover talked about recently. And I'm just going to parrot two of his points, namely one that you always have the advantage of having another edge. If one edge dulls, you just flip it over and use the other one, which is very nice and convenient. And since it's so cheap, you don't have to worry about it whatsoever. You can use it to dig in the earth or whatever crazy stuff, you know, basically abusing a knife with this design, because that's not really what it was intended for, but it still works, so why not? And if you mess it up, you can just get another one for $8 or whatever. So overall, would I recommend it? Yeah, sure, why not? Especially at the price. The design is functional, the material, well, yeah, cheap, but at the price, still pretty useful. Sheath works well, as I said, and yeah, there's not really anything wrong with it, other than the friggin' ball chain, but hey, whatever. Like I said, at that price. So definitely go for it if you like it.